Hey guys, DJ from PTA. Jumping online now, kind of give you a follow up. I know I've been MIA for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Didn't really see that many plays the first week, and then unfortunately the second week I ended up getting sick. Thank God it wasn't COVID or anything like that, but definitely was under the weather and kind of lost my voice in the process. So decided not to do any videos. Wasn't a lot that went on. I finished the month of August green, which was a good thing. But coming in the month of September, I typically don't trade the day after the holiday, but definitely seen a really nice setup. But as I told you guys before, and go back to the previous video, I've always said that we were going down until we got over this area. So as I stated, we pulled back and did a significant pullback, which was on the 26th. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So the thing is that this is what I was saying about that pullback. Like, I didn't feel like we were in a somewhat of a rally of any sort. We definitely had a nice significant gain from a low back up to this key area. And like I said, this was going to be a key area to start looking at doing a short. And if you did and short it back down to here, that would have been an excellent play. Excellent play. But again, we still looking like we're going to go lower. So as long as we stay up under this line here, I feel like the market is going to keep trending lower. I'd be surprised if it gets back to here. And then if it breaks here, then, we're definitely going to feel those effects in the market when it comes to liquidity. All right, guys. So that's just an overall census of what was going on in the market. Now let's go over these winners. And then I'm going to do something special today and kind of give you some stuff that we're going to probably be looking at tomorrow. So first one going over SPRO. Now this is the one I did not play. This did pop up on the radar, bouncing off the 68 cent area. Excuse me, and had us a nice little move today. Coming into this, got up as high as 191, and then we had us a pullback. So gave back a lot today. I don't think it may be a second day runner. We shall see. It halted as well, halted on the downside as well as on the upside. Um, it has a very large short interest. Um, so I think that's why it was on everyone's radar. It was on our radar due to the significant price movement from day to day. So, excuse me, this is something we have been looking at, and once it got on there, we put it out there in the Discord as well as notifying the members. They also had a follow up, a Type A meeting with the FDA and the U.S. Food Administration about some things, and that information looked as though it must have been good from the meeting, the feedback that they received, and I think this with that again, FDA being one of those trigger words when it comes to callous or noise or whatnot of people looking at a particular stock, and that's what kind of put it on the radar. So, as I always do, I draw my lines. When I was looking at this, you had a significant gap up here. So honestly, I didn't see it moving much higher than here, right there to be specific, about 206. So we're gonna just put that down as $2. Um, so I didn't really see again a significant move in that area. I felt like it may have jumped up there. Remember that the orange line is previous month, gray line is previous week, and then ultimately the only little resistance I seen was really at that 130 area. Um, excuse me, that's the 130 area was another key area to me from when the stock had broke down. So we already had our previous month, previous week, and those were all our key areas, and as well as 130 being a breakdown area off of the daily. So as we zoomed in, this became a very interesting stock after the fact. So the initial move, when it actually rallied up and then pulled back, it actually rallied back through previous week's high and then pre market high. So my ideal entry on this was after it did the pullback. Excuse me. So the thing is, still trying to get over this cold a bit. But the thing is that once it got over here, this is sort of where it set its A. And then that's when I was looking for, I would have been looking for some type of pullback. We got the pullback here. And I think that's where most of the people who wanted to play this played it. So it was right around that dollar mark. So let me kind of zoom in on this. When I went back and analyzed the stock, you can see it here, the build up. So we had our A, it pulled up, failed, but still was making higher highs, higher lows. So if you scroll back down here in the 5-minute, you can see that it was still making higher lows as it was going into the squeeze. So once it got over that dollar, I want to say a dollar even if I remember correctly, looking at the level 2, right about there, 104, $1 area. Could have risked the 97 cents. So you're talking about a clear 3-cent risk. And you see that it, navigated itself up to 190. So it was a clean 40, 50 cent move. You could have clearly loaded up very heavy here, 20, 30,000 shares or so. Got it at a really good price. And then you had a nice little rip up to $1.90 before the pullback. And this right here was a significant area off of the daily. That's probably why it ran up here and then pulled back before it took off. So it's always good to draw your lines, know where your areas are. As you see here, it couldn't get to $2. It pulled back off the 190 and then faded. So very good move. Shout out to Trade King for that alert. That was an awesome alert there. Isee was the one that I ended up taking advantage of. Now this one here was given to our members. So guys, if you're not a member, make sure you subscribe. Our subscriptions and everything range from weekly subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, depending on your trading appetite. I always recommend people doing the monthly, just because you're gonna get your money back within that month off of one of those picks. So anyone who has signed up was in that stock today. They did very well on Isee, and it's still going. So ultimately, when I was looking at this, my key areas was definitely this previous month high. Had an area here, which was about right there at 1371. At 1370, we had us a nice little area here, as you can see. It bounced, rejected here, 1495. Reject. So I'm gonna actually pull this to 15 even, just for the sake of round numbers. And those are pretty much your key areas. I mean, outside of that would be your 19 up here, but it had a little ways to get there or whatnot. 1935, 19 area, whatever. So this is sort of how I was looking at the trade. This was also a key area here. I apologize. Right there. 1688, 1690 area. Right around that 17 was a good area. All right, so let's break this down to a smaller time frame so you guys can actually see the move. So when we took a look at this first thing in the morning, it did a nice little pull back up. I marked that as my conjunction A. It pulled back and I got in. My entry was right at 1351. So let's put that there, 1351. So my entry was about right there. So I was seeing how I was playing there and came back retest. I figure if it gets over this area and hold, which it did, it would continue on. Excuse me, and that was where that next leg was. So to zoom in on 1 minute, you can kind of see where everybody was sitting. Right here, I mean, once it flushed, came back, it kept rejecting, and then it actually broke through, came back down, and then finally followed through. So this was the retest here. Right here in this area was the retest, right around 12:13 a.m. Eastern Standard. That's when it retested that 1350 area because that was a critical area. Came back, and then it retested the daily area of 1370, and then it took off. Was this a little bit choppy? Yeah, it was a little bit choppy. I got in a little early, but I was confident because it already showed a support. I looked at major support being off of this candle here, around that 13. So I was looking for a 13 risk, 13.51, 50-cent risk. And I mean, I'm still holding the trade. So I ended up selling some shares off in the 1540s. I sold about 3/4 of my position here. And then we had it to kind of go sideways for the rest of the day. And then it had a little pop here, pop there, and then it kind of carry on. So it's back at 1597. Could this be a second day runner? This is a previous runner. I have no doubt in my mind that it can possibly run. It's got the MO. It's got the the actual energy behind it. Shares, so on and so forth. It rotated its float today. So it's one of those things that I'm gonna keep an eye out on tomorrow and see what it is. Either way, just because I still got a quarter position left. So was it a good trade? Yeah, definitely was a good trade. Definitely something you want to put in your arsenal and look at that price action on that one. 1351 was my entry. Again, I sold in the 1540s up in here. Once we started getting this double back and this quick pop, I ended up selling into that pop there. Just didn't see it being sustainable over 15. So outside of that, this was a solid trade. It was a really good trade. And I was, very happy with it. Didn't catch SPRO. Ended up walking away from the desk at the time. Then I seen the alert go through the chat. But outside of that, pretty decent day. Can't really complain. I would say it's a good day for me coming off of being sick and haven't been looking at the markets for the last 2 weeks, really. All right, so here go the freebies. So one with Sava is something that we're going to be looking at for tomorrow. Let's take a look at the daily chart. As you can see, this is a key area. It looks like it's starting to try to bounce back up. We have some significant volume compared to the last couple of days. We got up to about 2.9 million in volume today. Looking at this, look like it still wants to hold. So that's something I definitely would look at. Sava is a previous runner. Guys who's been following the channel for a while, you probably heard Sava several times. PETQ is another one. Similar look move as Sava, still holding. PETQ, if I'm not mistaken, had about 2.3 million in volume. So it's something that I'm definitely gonna have on the radar. So that's the second one. The third one was TELL. TELL. Let me see something here. I don't know why this is not going through. TELL was another one. It ended up holding. Did a nice little move. But what was interesting about it was the actual chart. So this one's a pretty high float. Did 33 million in volume today. Not really sure why it's moving, but I'm definitely gonna look at it. I see it's got an A, pull back B, pull back. So this thing could continue on. Not really sure. It might come back, bounce, and then take off. But I'm definitely going to be looking at this tomorrow just to see what the price action and everything would be. So, especially over that 470 area, probably going to be taking a look at that just to see what it's going to do. Again, that's TELL. The next one, CFVI. Now, this is a previous runner as well. This chart looks really, really good. As you can see, this is the areas I was looking at before it broke down. So, this is definitely something that's going to be on the radar to look at. Definitely with this gap move here over this area, popped up over this area as well, and then it did it off, some significant volume. So this was at 7.5 million in volume. The float is 38. Looking at the chart, this thing could move and continue on the next day. Let's look at the 5-minute. I like to see that stair step move up into the 13s. We'll see how it opens up tomorrow, but that's a couple freebies. So SAVA, excuse me, SAVA, PETQ, TELL, CFVI. Those are the ones on after hour watch for tomorrow. We'll see. If you see them on the watch today, if you see it in the watch tomorrow, you've been already aware of it before everyone else. So keep an eye on that. For our subscribers that are in there, you're going to get that email in the morning. If you see these ones on the email tomorrow, you know that this is something we talked about the day before, so you can come back and look at this video. So hey guys, if you have any questions, concerns, leave it in the comment section. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss none of our videos. And as I'll tell all old traders and new, stay steady and stay focused.